Hi, everybody. It is I, Mr. Aaron, coming to you once again, for it is Monday, and it is 2 o'clock. That means we have some more reading to do. Now, I'm not sure what the sound quality is going to be on today's video because my computer decided that it needed to install updates right as I was getting ready to do this video. So I'm actually set my phone up on a tripod. So I'm not sure what the sound quality will be as compared to when I do it on my computer. Hopefully it's okay. But okay. So we are going to be reading, continuing with Shark School, Squid Napped. And you may remember when we left off last time, Harry had entered the deep part of the sea. He was going to go out there and be a lone shark, and there was this very annoying minnow that was teasing him and darting around him. He's trying to get it. He's using his hammerhead radar and everything, but he has not managed to catch it thus far. So, that is where we are picking up today. My teeth chomp down onto empty, cold, unfishy water. You're so slow I could tie your fins into bows without getting eaten, he calls out from behind me. You must be one hungry shark if this is the way you hunt. Swish! In a flash he's in front of me, winking. Is that your stomach I can hear rumbling? It's true. My stomach is rumbling, and I hadn't realized just how hungry I am. I think of the box of kelp crispies in my backpack. I'd much prefer a tasty minnow, but there's no way I'm going to be able to catch this one. He's far too tricky. And there's no point sticking around here to be laughed at. I could have stayed in Shark Point for that. I turn and begin to swim away. Oh, you don't want to play no more? I shake my head and keep swimming. I can teach you how to hunt if you like. The nerve! A tiny prey fish like a minnow telling me how to hunt? But I don't give him the satisfaction of seeing how annoyed I am. I say nothing and swim on. Suit yourself, says the minnow, but don't say I didn't offer. And with another lightning swish of his silvery tail, the minnow is gone. I swim on alone, getting more and more down in the dumps. This is hopeless. Maybe Humphrey and Lenny were right. Maybe I will be home for dinner this evening, with my tail between my fins and a whole world of embarrassment to face up to. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a lone shark after all. Then I see something move out of the corner of my eye. It's a big something, a really big something. I look down at the seabed. I can make out boulders and coral forests, sharp branches sticking up in the gloomy half-light. Then there it is again. A shadow, huge and slow moving, rippling over the rocks. Because of the lack of sunlight, I only just make out a dim shape. Maybe it's one of the humpback whales I heard booming earlier. Or maybe it's something else. Something with sharper teeth. Gulp. But what's that? Is it a dorsal fin? Is it the nose, the pointy nose of a shark? A great white shark? Suddenly I'm more excited than scared. Of course! I'm out in the deep. This is prime hunting water for great whites. Maybe... No, it can't be. Can it? Could it be Gregor the Gnasher? I pull down my t-shirt and smooth out the picture of Gregor. Oh man, if it is Gregor, I'll be able to get his autograph. Better than that, maybe Gregor could teach me how to hunt, and then I'll show that minnow who the best hunter in the sea is. Kicking my tail, I swim down and down toward the shape, smiling the biggest smile I've smiled since before the disaster of my birthday. Faster and faster and faster. Gregor! Gregor! Hey, wait! I'm your #1 fan! And that's when I see that the shadow isn't Gregor the Gnasher at all, But I'm swimming too fast to stop, and I really need to stop more than anything in the whole world because I'm swimming straight toward the open tentacles and fearsome gaping mouth of a giant squid. Chapter 4. I try everything I can to brake and change direction, but it's no good. I'm going way too fast. And the giant squid really is giant. And it has about a billion suckery arms all twisting about in the water. Its two big, shiny black eyes as big as a turtle cart are staring right at me. And there, in the center of its huge, flat face is the giant squid's mouth. It's deep, dark, and red, surrounded by a huge, razor-sharp beak. Oh, how did I think this monster was Gregor the Gnasher? The squid opens and shuts its beak really quickly, making a hissing sound like scissors cutting through seaweed paper. He's showing me how deadly he is. I push against the water hard with my fins. It takes all my strength to slow down even a little bit, and I could tail flick myself for zooming down to the shadow without thinking of what could be lurking there. Oh, if only I'd listened to Joe and Ralph and stayed home. I push and push with my tail and feel myself start to slow. I look up to the dim surface of the ocean many fathoms above. If only I could push harder. If only I could find the strength. I promise I'll never try to be a lone shark again, I whisper as I kick and kick. It's working. I'm starting to slow down. I might just pull this off. But that's when the giant squid shoots out his longest and suckeriest tentacle and grabs me right around the middle. That's the sound of the suckers attaching themselves to my skin. I wriggle and twist and push and kick, snap and crunch my teeth, but I'm stuck fast. Let me go! Oh, please let me go! The giant squid sucks the suckers tighter and yanks me toward him, right up close to his hissing beak and huge, scary eyes. Let you go? Why would I let you go? I haven't had Hammerhead in ages. Such a subtle flavor, the Hammerhead. A reef shark or great white can be tough and chewy, but a young Hammerhead, why, that's a taste to be savored. Make no mistake. I gulp as the squid's mouth opens and closes, and inside I see a thick purple tongue getting ready for some hammerheady flavors. I'm tough, I yell, trying to break out of the squid's grasp. I'll stick to your throat. I'll give you indigestion. I'll make your breath smell. The squid hesitates for a moment. I think maybe I've persuaded him not to eat me, but I'm wrong. Another tentacle snaps out above my head, and I can see that it's holding a cookbook. Yet another tentacle starts to flip through the pages. Angelfish souffle, crab cheesecake, grilled coral with rack of sea squirt. Oh, that's a classic. Here we are. Hammerhead. Oh, yes. That's just the ticket. Hammerhead Wellington with pufferfish pastry and a big splash of jellyfish gravy. The squid sniffs up and down my body, making me shiver and shake, then licks his lips with his purple tongue. So fresh, so tasty, so alive. For now. I begin to struggle again, but all I'm doing is wearing myself out. It's hopeless. The squid gives a contented sigh as I go limp in his tentacles. Yes, so much better when lunch doesn't put up a fight. Then he starts to swim down, carrying me like someone carrying their shopping home from the supermarket. I've never missed Shark Point so much in my life. I'm even missing Rick and Donnie. What I wouldn't give right now to be wearing 2 pink crash helmets and to have Rick playing bongos on my hammerhead. Anything would be better than this. Where are you taking me?
To my kitchen, of course, says the squid. I need to cook you properly to make this meal the triumph I want it to be.
Triumph? It's just lunch, isn't it? I say sadly. The squid stops dead in the water and looks at me.
Just lunch? Don't be silly, boy. Gordon Clamsey, star chef of the seabed, doesn't do just lunch. He creates menu masterpieces. He is an artiste of the palate, a miracle worker of foodie wonder. You haven't been caught by just any old squid, you know.
I frown. If you're a star chef, how come I've never heard of you? The squid shakes a few of his free tentacles in disgust.
It's not my fault those lame brains in Clam City aren't ready for a chef of my caliber in their hideous little restaurants. Thrown out just because I ate a few of the diners. I mean, what's a chef to do when he's a bit hungry and it's a slow day in the kitchen?
But a chef is supposed to feed the diners, not feed on them.
That's just what the restaurant owners said, before I ate them.
My stomach flips over 3 times. With a sniff and a ripple of his tentacles, Gordon Clamsey starts swimming down again. Soon the jagged boulder field that is the seafloor comes fully into view. Through the hazy blue water, Gordon punches on toward a cave entrance.
Here we are, my boy, he bellows. Welcome into my kitchen, the place where the magic happens.
As we squeeze through the narrow opening, he bangs my head against the roof. Ow! I yell.
Just tenderizing the meat, Gordon booms,
with a hearty laugh that makes my eyes wobble. Inside the cave, it's almost completely dark. It's also dead cold, and I shiver. As my eyes adjust to the light, I wish that it was completely dark. The cave floor is covered in bones. Fish bones, crab shells, and the jawbones of sharks. I see one huge jaw with a rack of teeth that can only have come from a great white. A great white who must have been as big as Gregor. If a shark like that can't escape from Gordon Clamsey, what chance does a wimpy hammerhead like me have?
None. Gulp.
Gordon pushes me up against the wall and ties me to a rock with thick, sticky strands of seaweed. Ugh, it's like being tied up with giant boogers. Gordon swims back a little to admire his tentacle work. He smiles and says,
Now wait there. I'm off to get a few things to help you make my taste buds explode with delight. Stay fresh now.
And with that, Gordon leaves, and I'm all alone. Alone, apart from the bones. I jerk and strain the cold, sticky grip of the seaweed, but like Gordon's suckered tentacles, it's far too strong for me to wiggle out of. I think of how Rick and Donnie would be killing themselves laughing if they knew how Harry the lone shark had found himself on Gordon Clamsey's menu as soon as he left town. What about Joe and Ralph? How would they feel? They tried everything to make me stay, and I didn't listen. I'll probably blame themselves. And Mom and Dad, oh man, now I feel really bad. Especially when I think of how mean I was about my birthday cake. Oh, I feel so ashamed. I have to get out of here. I try shouting, help, a few times, but the cave is probably too deep down. And if the locals know there's a huge killer squid chef living in a cave of bones, I'll hardly think any of them will try to rescue me. I try to calm down a bit, but I can't get the thought of that huge, scissory, squiddy beak coming down toward me out of my hammerhead. I bite my lip. What should I do? What should I do? Bing! Bing! Huh? Why is my hammer vision suddenly going off? Bing! It's picking up movement outside the cave. Gordon must be coming back. Typical, I groan. Hammer vision is supposed to show me the things I want to eat, not show me the things that are coming to eat me. I close my eyes as it gets even closer. Bing! 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 Chapter 5.
Yikes! You're in a pickle, aren't you?
What? I open up one of my screwed up eyes.
What's up?
Says the minnow.
You got time for a chat, or are you a bit tied up right now?
The minnow laughs his head off at his joke, even though it's bad enough to be one of Dad's. Then he comes up close to my face.
Thought it was you. I heard you yelling for help. You're not that brave for a lone shark, are you? I'm so pleased to see someone who isn't going to eat me that I don't care.
Oh.
I didn't see the end of the... Anyway, not that brave for a lone shark, are you?
I'm so pleased to see someone who isn't going to eat me. I don't care that the minnow's being mean. Get this stuff off me, I say. The minnow looks at the sticky booger-like seaweed and makes a face.
Huh, you think I'm touching that? It looks like the squid sneezed on you.
Please, I say, making my hammerheady eyes as big and as appealing as I can. You can nibble through it and I'll be free. The minnow shakes his head.
Listen, pal, there are 2 reasons I'm not going to get you out of that stuff. 1, it looks like squid snot. And 2, what's to stop you from eating me if I let you out?
I promise I won't eat you.
That's just what that fat great white Gregor the Gnasher said to my cousin Monty.
Really?
Yep, just before he ate him.
Oh. Look, I don't know your name, and I'm sorry I tried to eat you before, but please help me. I promise I'm not like Gregor the Gnasher.
The minnow isn't listening. See, if you don't want to get caught by a giant squid, what you don't do is swim straight at one.
I didn't know it was a giant squid.
Classic errors all the way, pal. Out in the open ocean, all alone, error. Not really knowing what you're doing, massive school shark error. Not even fast enough to overtake a minnow like me. Asking for major error-y trouble, my friend.
How does telling me that now help?
The minnow nods his head. Good point.
Oh well,
must be off. Places to be, sharks to annoy.
Wait!
Why?
The minnow frowns at me.
We've pretty much covered everything. You're squid food, and I'm off to have fun and not get eaten.
Wait, I plead. If you won't get me out, please can you go to Shark Point and find my best friends Ralph and Joe? They'll come and rescue me. The minnow thinks for a moment.
And what's to stop this Ralph and Joe from eating me then, huh?
They're not sharks, I say triumphantly. Sure, this will persuade the minnow.
What are they then?
Well, Ralph's a pilot fish and Joe's a jellyfish. The minnow makes a disgusted face.
Ew. Being a pilot fish has got to be the worst job in the world. You wouldn't catch me eating stuff out of sharks' mouths.
Please, will you go? But before the minnow has a chance to answer, we're startled by the suckery sound from outside the cave.
It's Hammerhead Wellington time,
calls Gordon's booming voice. Swish! The minnow vanishes. Looks like I'm on my own. Gordon enters the cave and grins. He waves a few tentacles around, bows as if he's in front of an audience, and holds up 2 shopping bags.
You need 3 things to be a successful chef, says Gordon to the cave. I look around to see if there are any other squid who've come along to watch, but there aren't any. Perhaps Gordon just thinks he's talking to lots of other squid. I shiver some more. Being in the clutches of a killer chef is bad enough, but I'm in the clutches of a killer chef who's completely bonkers. First, continues Gordon, you need the finest ingredients known to chef kind.
Gordon empties the bag on the cave floor. I can see packets of dried jellyfish, bags of piranha puffs, and all kinds of weeds and spices.
Second, you need a kitchen worthy of your ingredients.
Gordon's tentacles shoot out in all directions, and from the dark corners of the cave he drags a fancy captain's table, complete with red checkered tablecloth, a coral and limestone cooking stove connected to a sea gas canister, a huge number of shiny cooking utensils, and last, a clutch of sharp, evil knives. I really don't like the way the blades glint in my ever more goggly eyes.
And finally, bellows Gordon, throwing his tentacles wide, the thing you need most of all is...
I take a deep breath, terrified of what that last thing might be, and how it might be used to chop me into tiny pieces of shark sushi or blend me into hammerhead fin soup.
The right hat!
Huh? Reaching up into the dark ceiling of the cave with two of his tentacles, Gordon brings down a huge white chef's hat. I look at it closely and see that it has been stitched together from several wrecked ship's sails.
And that is where we are going to end for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, of course, be sure to tune in tomorrow as we continue the story. And don't forget to check out our other live programs, Toddler Time with Miss Becky, Stories with Sunny, and Creating with Constance. And don't forget that you can still access library materials through our digital content services at sweetwaterlibraries.com. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.